Thanks for the hydrate toot, starting us right off. And as you can see, the critter cam is back. Yay! I think I mentioned, maybe not last stream, but the stream before, I was making some changes to Pow's enclosure, which bumped her humidity really high, and I just wasn't comfortable putting a piece of electronics in there that wasn't, you know, rated for being waterproof. As you can see, she's vibing and thriving and has a whole new garden to destroy. Welcome in, Potato. Yeah, Pow is back. And hi, Turnitrix. Yes, this is our tortoise, Pow. Pow is a red-footed tortoise. She's been off Critter Cam for a while because tech issues. And mixed with hydration issues. And hi, Karen. Welcome in on YouTube. Welcome, welcome. I will accept Tortle. It's the kind of thing where, like, all tortoises are turtles, but not all turtles are tortoises. So calling her a turtle is not technically incorrect. It's just not the most correct. But she's coming to get you anyways. So later on in the stream, in about 45 minutes or so, we are actually going to do our old favorite game, which is a little bit of fruit betting, fruit gambling. At the midpoint of the stream, when I make everybody get up and stretch and get water and all that good stuff, we're going to give Pow a treat. We're going to give her 2 different types of fruits, and you guys can guess which fruit she's going to go for first. So we'll put up that prediction on Twitch later in the stream. If you're playing along on YouTube, you can just guess because you don't have channel points to wager. But yeah, we're going to be doing that later. And hello, Orchid. So yes, so today's stream, I wanted to do this on Monday, but I wasn't able to, so I'm really glad that I'm able to do it today. And Toot said, when you see her right up against the door on the right there, that's her glaring at us for fruits. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of like foggy, whitish pain, that's the enclosure that we're on the other side of. That's the door we're on the other side of. Orchid says, I probably won't be able to stay long because super busy, just got delivery, but I'll stay for a bit while I can. Okay, awesome. In about 45 minutes, we're going to get the prediction started for Pow's Treat Eat. So if you want to pop back in around then. If you can. Like, no pressure. I just know you enjoy that. So today's stream is going to be another design with me. And this one was so much fun last time. If you recall, we designed the... in 25 minutes. Sorry, not 45 minutes. Orchid's gonna do a gamble. Yeehaw. So we designed the In a Sea of Doozers Be a Moki piece from that. That actually ended up, I stitched it up pretty much right away and it went up in the shop. But we designed that together on stream. And that was a lot of fun. So we're doing it again. What we're doing today, though, is a little bit different because last time I was using a program called WinStitch, which is what I do use now to design, but it's not cheap. It's a little bit expensive. So before I switched over to WinStitch, I used a free program called Stitch Fiddle, which is a web-based browser app that is actually really robust for a free program. They do have like a paid version, which basically gives you the option to save more charts, and I think there's a few other functionalities. It's not very expensive at all. So if you are looking to design things just for yourself, Stitch Fiddle is a fantastic option for free or for a small monthly fee. I don't know why Pow's glaring at us. Oh, okay. She's so cute. Okay. So today, because last time I used WinStitch, which is a little bit more pricey, so we're going to use Stitch Fiddle today, so I can show you kind of a different program that's going to be a little bit more accessible for you starting out. And the link is just stitchfiddle.com. And not fiddle, like the instrument. And Pow is going to continue hanging out with us on camera, so don't worry, you will still be able to see her. There we go. Toot just put up the link to Stitch Fiddle. All right. Turntrick says, I've used Stitch Fiddle twice. I'm interested to see what a pro does with it. Well, I don't know if I'm exactly a pro, but I hope you will find this interesting. I've been using Stitch Fiddle for quite a few years now. Because as you can see, so this is kind of the landing page. As you can see, it's not just for cross stitch, it's for a variety of different crafts. So I think I've been using Stitch Fiddle for almost a decade now to design knitting patterns specifically. Because it has all the symbols for, lace and cables and all the things that you need to chart out. So this is Stitch Fiddle. Well, first I'm going to hop over to the, so this is my coffee shop. So, scrolling through, so this is everything that's available. So this Be a Moki, this is the design that we did last time together on stream. And, I had so much fun doing it with you guys. So that's the one. And, you might remember, like, I got your input on the colors and that kind of thing. So that, there you go. So this is the coffee shop. Toot just put up the link for that. Thank you, Toot. And so all of these cross-stitch patterns are available for you. There are a couple of freebies. Let's see. The Pride Pronoun Moss is a freebie. But what I wanted to show you guys is my latest pattern, which is a needle book. And that's what we're going to be designing together tonight, is another needle book. So this sample was stitched up by Orchid. Thank you very much, Orchid. And it's because what I did was I didn't just design the cover of the needle book. I also wrote a tutorial and then filmed a video tutorial on how I actually assemble them and put them together. So that's what you're getting with this pattern. You're not just getting the cross-stitch pattern, you're also getting those tutorials. But basically a needle book, it's just a small fabric book that you can use to hold your needles. Some people will also sew a pocket into them and put a little pair of folding scissors. And I've seen some people use the pages for needle minders as well. And yes, thank you, Toot. Orchid Sunshine is also one of our stream artists. So some of the emotes that you guys love using are also from Orchid as well. So we're going to be doing another needle book today. So my idea is I want to do a needle book of shadows. I think it would be cute. So kind of like witchy spell book vibes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to start a new project. So I'm going to... Turntrick says you have my attention. Excellent. All right, so we're going to start a cross stitch project. And then I'm going to be using DMC. So if you did use Anchor or Madeira, you can choose those. This actually, Stitch Fiddle has the entire DMC palette preloaded into it, which is really, really handy. And I'll show you another feature of Stitch Fiddle that I really like in a moment. So you can do your empty chart. If you have like a photograph or something you want to convert, you can do this with Stitch Fiddle. I don't find it's the best conversion. I found it's a little bit clunky and it just does it. I've never been able to make it work for me as well as some other programs, but you can still do it if you want to put some work into cleaning it up. But we're going to start with an empty chart. And this box is actually new as of like the last year, which is really cool because before it was just how many stitches did you want to do? But now if you can select like what size fabric you want. So on a 14 count, and you can actually put in the finished size of the piece that you would like, and it'll calculate the stitches for you instead of you having to do the math and figure out how many stitches per inch. Anyways, it does the math for you. So my needle books, I like them about 2.5 inches by 3 inches, maybe a little bit bigger than that for like the cover. So for the width, I need to double that. So I'm actually going to say 6 inches, give myself a little bit of working space. And then for the height, let's say 3.5 inches. So that'll give us a working space of 84 by 49. And we can change this later if we need to. Right. I did myself a bit of a heck and I can't quite see my Twitch chat, so give me a second while I just check on my various boxes. Okay, so then it pops up with a new project. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. Zoom in a little bit. Okay. So this is our whole working canvas. And like I said, we can change it up afterwards. The grid lines default to a thick grid line every 10 and a thin grid line every 5. And then it kind of gives you a starter palette. But I actually usually just delete the starter palette because I don't tend to like these colors. Except for this color. I like this color. I like the 704. But, you know, it's a bright lime green, so of course. Yeah, not enough green. Thank you, Toot, for pointing that out. There isn't enough green in here. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to basically, because of the way that the needle books are constructed, we're making the cover of the book. So the cover is going to be on like this, the right half, and the back is going to be on the left half, taking up half of the area here. So let's see if we can pick a color here. So there's a couple ways that you can add the colors in this, and I really like what Stitch Fiddle does, and I wish WinStitch had a similar search function, because I often have to pull up Stitch Fiddle in the background. And thank you for the hydrate too. I'm very excited about this, so I'm like talking a lot. Okay, taking a breath. So one thing we can do is we can search. So if you want a gray, let's just type in gray. It'll show me, let's do it that way. So you can do it in a grid or in a list. I like doing it in a list because then I can see the names of the colors. The other way that you can do it in Stitch Fiddle, which I find really cool, is search by color. So if you have a hex code and you want to match that hex code, you can put it in here and it'll tell you the closest DMC color to that hex code, which is really, really handy for some of the stuff that I do, for example, my Valorant minis. So I pull up the character art in GIMP, which is a free version of Photoshop. And then I use the dropper function to figure out the hex code of the color I want to match. And then I can just slot it right in here to Stitch Fiddle. All right, so the first color we want, color. We're doing like a witchy spell booky, so we want some like browns and golds and maybe a little bit of green and red. So I'm gonna start off. I know that there's a good gold. Not God, gold. I really like 680 as a gold. Hang on one second, guys. Just gonna see if I did a heck to my things. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. For real on gold, no green. Yes, exactly, dude. We're going for real on gold, no green. So we've got gold. We want some like nice leathery browns. So we've got like the brown grays. I like mochas. Like, let's go for a coffee because I like that's nice and warm. And then maybe we'll do 420, which is a hazelnut brown. I like that one as well. All right, so let's just start laying down some pixels, shall we? So I know 420 hazelet. Thank you too. I will forever be upset that 420 is not green. So my first thought is I kind of wanted to do like the text in like an arc. I don't know if, can you even see my cursor? Like an arc for needlebook, and then of in the middle of the arc, and then shadows like all fancy underneath. So let's just see if I can do some letters. It would be perfect if 420 was green. However, it is not. It is brown. So you'll notice right away one of the things that I was talking about with WinStitch is the ability to create alphabets and kind of like save your lettering styles. That is not an option that you have. So whenever I do letters, I have to recreate them all by hand, pixel by pixel. Oh, that's a premium feature. I didn't realize that. Okay. Like I said, that I wasn't sure because we've had premium for so long that I wasn't sure what was a paid function and what wasn't. But I just found a paywall, so there we go. That's good to know. You can copy and paste things, but you can't move motifs around in the free version. I need to move that over. One more again. The other thing you'll notice is that so this is the no stitch, and I have to select that if I want to erase things. And it's too short. That doesn't look right. I think. So how many stitches is this across, by the way? So that's 37 stitches. So 37 divided by 14 is 2.6. Okay. So stop it. Okay, so I think I just need to recreate. Yeah, it's not symmetrical. The curve is not symmetrical. But I think that I'm going to use the spacing as the width for our needle book. So maybe. Yeah. That's 36, so 18 would be the middle of the curve. Okay. Maybe like these. Needle boo. That's what it says right now. Boo. Yes, Orchid, we're doing another needle book. Right. And then in here, let's do a little of. Orchid is here for the yeetage. Excellent. And then I want to do something like curvy for shadows. So, alright, so my trick for like trying to center letters is I'll write out the word on a piece of paper before trying to just freehand it. So like I'll just write it. So shadows is 7 letters. The D is in the middle. Okay. So let's start with a D in the middle. And then we'll do an O. And then we'll do a little, maybe one like this. and then I'll work the other way. So we need an S. We need an A. I knew we needed an A. I was drawing an A. Did I say we needed an A? No. Oh my god, that's a gigantic A. Okay. Let's step back on that A. And Toot has just put up a prediction. Thank you very much. So if you guys did want to try and guess what fruit Pow is going to go for in our tree eat, today's contenders are cherries versus grapes. And like I said, if you're watching over on YouTube, you can just put your vote in the chat. But today's contenders are cherries versus grapes. And I have absolutely no insider information for you, as I don't know if we've ever given her cherries before. I think I'm going hard mode. Forgot to cut the grapes. I usually cut the grapes in half, because otherwise they just kind of roll around. Oh, right. The cherries are a massacre. It's hilarious. Thank you for cutting the grapes, too. All right. And then we need a big S. I'm not a super fan of that S. Or this dude has a knife. Yeah, I sometimes do trust her with a knife. Sometimes. Okay. So this is kind of the vibe I'm going for. And then I'm going to clean it up, because I think I want shadows to be completely straight across. And right now it's kind of like leaning up. Let's just copy that and then try pasting it down further below. And I am mostly just using my keyboard shortcuts. Okay, like that. So this W also has to come down, and then maybe the O can either stay there or go up. We're going to copy that, and then we're going to just And yes, Toot reminding our friends over on YouTube, if you want to guess in the YouTube chat, the options are, will Pal get cherries or green grapes first? Well, she'll get them both at the same time. Which one will she go for? All right. So how are we feeling about this so far? I think I might extend this D upwards. Make it a little bit longer. And definitely move this O. You feel like the A needs to be lower? Thank you. I don't know why I cut off that much of the O. Make it longer. Orchid says, I love the way you mix your fonts and design them on the fly. Oh, thank you, Orchid. I try. I'm not great at hand lettering, but I like the concepts of hand lettering. Also, I'm looking at Needlebook, and I know if I wrote it out, the L and the E would be in the middle. However, in my font, the E's and the L's take up fewer spaces, which is shifting the center over to more of the B. So like that's 19. And this is 16. Stop it. Ah, oops. I didn't mean to do that. It's fine. Everything's fine. And then my brain hurts. Or do I just want to make the E's and the L's the same width? Okay. Trying this again. Yes. Okay. All right. So. Okay. So. You feel like. Oh, sorry. I already read that. Toot says, yes, make all the letters the same for my brain. Okay. Yeah, let's try that. So in the center will be an E and an L. Three, and then oh my god, trying to write letters backwards is a whole new experience. All right, how are we liking that? The other option is, I'm just going to go over here. Orchid says, I have to go. Please let you know the results. Of course. Turnerchick says, I can't see it. And Toot says, have good work, Orchid. Yes, have good work. We will let you know how the tree eat works out. I'm going to spend this entire stream getting this curve right. Oops. And failing. I do have a, it says I do have a tendency to try and curve square art. Listen, I like curves. Okay. All right. Done with my hecking. So I'm going to clear this. I'm going to go clear. Okay, so which curve do we like more? The kind of like more subtle curve or the sharper curve? I'm kind of feeling the sharper curve. The subtle curve is covered by the captions. Oh, okay. Sorry. There we go. Okay. How's that? Sorry. Um, okay, so we've got the subtle curve at the bottom and the sharper curve uh, to the left. I'm kind of feeling the sharper curve. How do you guys feel? Toot. Toot says they like the sharp, and Twitch Toot says they like the subtle. Guys. And by guys, I mean Toot. Alright, I'm gonna go. Let's see if we were to put a little olive here. Yes, okay. That looks good. I like that. Copy. All right, so I'm gonna clear this. Clear. Clear. I'm gonna select my shadows. Copy. And I want to paste that just right here. Let's try and get a little bit closer, I think. Too close. Oh. All right, that's the right positioning. I just need to clean this up a little bit. The longest shadow. The longest H. Actually, I kind of like that H now. Alright. Toot has admitted they like the sharp as well. Okay, so we've got our lettering. This is our Needlebook of Shadows. I'm actually going to move this down. I'm going to copy. Because I want to kind of put some stuff above it, but I don't want it in the middle. I want it kind of like the upper third, if that makes sense. I think that's too low. Okay, I like that. Okay, so this kind of gives us our working area because I don't want to make it any wider than I have already. So this gray line at the edge of the N is going to be kind of the demarcation of our design, our working area. And then I'll just need to make sure that it's the same on the other side. So we've got our Needlebook of Shadows. Let's see. I'm just trying to think, like, what else? I want to do some moons, some stars. You know, the usual stuff. I just typed in moon instead of blue. Turntrick says, does Stitchfit have backstitch options on free version? Let's find out. It does. I will probably be using backstitch in this design as well. Moon is blue. Yes, our very good friend Moonphased, who's also a streamer here on Twitch. Her signature color is blue as well. Got like a little moon. I'm just kind of doing a little bit of sketching in pixels. Because I don't want the needle book to be too terribly large. So all of my motifs have to be quite small is the problem. Furniture says, if it's not too fiddly, that seems like a cool way to temporarily not mark your margins. That's how my silly brain works. No, it absolutely, that would be a great way to mark them out. So if I were, I'm going to add a column right. There. Everything's going to freeze. Okay, there we go. Okay, thank you. Add another column right. Let's do the back stitch in this color. Toot is telling on Turner Tricks we're doing a swore, as we all know. Backstitch is a swore. No one does backstitch unless they have to. I don't want to draw lines. I want to do this. Okay, thank you. Now see, embroidery is different. Embroidery is like nothing but backstitch. Backstitch is soft. Alright, so what kind of motifs are we going to go for? Do I want this to look like we could do like a really like leathery kind of book with like gold corners. Like do something like you know, a filigree in the corner here or something. Maybe a central motif in the middle here, and then the corners. Oh, probably should have thought this out better. I really didn't think it out further than the title. No, I like the idea of the corner filigree things. Now, a really cool idea would be to make the book from Hocus Pocus. However, that is a different project. And one that I will be doing at some point. I like this moon motif. I think I'm going to do it a little bit bigger. I'm so used to working in WinStitch now, I keep like using my right click to erase stuff. Something looks off about that. See, I think why I dislike backstitch, but I don't mind doing like black work and things like that, is because backstitch is usually over existing stitches, which just makes it more difficult to like get the needle through and make everything look neat. If all you're doing is backstitch on a completely plain piece of canvas, I feel like that's just a lot better. All right, and then okay, that's good to know. It says that's why they don't mind the Phasmo pattern that I designed, which is like almost entirely backstitch. Well, not almost entirely backstitch. I really hate the way that looks. But a large chunk of it is backstitch. See, what I was going for was like a needle. Does that look needly? Is that needle like? Sorry. Like, I'm wondering if I want to do some like needle motifs. Oops. Oh no, and then I could do that bit in like backstitch. Trick says it could be a needle or a magnifying glass or a bubble wand thread would sell it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But if I did the thread in like backstitch, I think that would be better than doing it in like It says no curved needles. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Let's just do... Okay, I like this. All right, I think this is going to be my motif. I think I'm going to move this moon over into the center. Like, just center it a little bit more. And have the two needles on either side with the thread kind of like angling around the moon, going through the two eyes of the needles. I think that'd be good. All right, and you guys have 30 seconds to get your predictions in for the tree eat. So today's contenders are cherries or grapes. I'm just going to copy this. Move over one. Okay. All right, I'm just going to flip us back over here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. right, it is time for our treat. So while Toot gets that prepared, I want everybody to take a moment, get up, stretch. You know the drill. Stretch your arms, stretch your legs, unshrimp your posture, grab something to drink. I'm going to flip us over so we can... Not that. We're going to go take a look at Pal, who appears to have decided that she does not want to be on camera at the moment, but she will come out for snacks for sure. So not all species of tortoise eat as much fruit as Pow's does. That's actually one of the kind of hallmarks of her species, is that fruit makes up like about a third of their diet in the wild. So we try and make sure that she gets quite a bit of it in. She loves fruit. She'll go after pretty much anything we put in there. Tomatoes are a big favorite of hers as well, so she gets tomatoes every day. And then we give her the more sugary fruits every once in a while as a little treat. Turntrick says, I've gotten one whole doodle done on my shirt in the last hour. We're just too distracting. All right. Here comes the treat. The woman of the hour. All right, so let me pull up the prediction here. So we had most people thinking she was going to go for the cherries first. But a few people thinking grapes. So if you're watching this on YouTube, get your votes in. So we've got some grapes over on the left, cherries on the right. How's ready for a treat? All right, guys. So, how? It's up to you. Which one are you going to go for? You can't leave. You can't just make a break for the door. Ma'am, that's not how this works. Now she is circling her prey. So her species is tropical. So basically they eat anything that falls to the forest floor, which is why they eat a lot of fruit, because there's a lot of fruit in their natural environment. It falls to the floor, they eat it. So we have we do a lot of fun stuff for her to kind of keep her engagement up. So that piece of rock, eating off of that keeps her beak and her claws nice and sharp. Not sharp, nice and dull, actually. It sharpens them down and keeps them from growing too long. Same as a scratcher for a cat. And we also have a foraging treat for her, where we hide fruit inside a toy, and then she has to dig around and get the fruit out of the toy. All right, it looks like she's finally clued in that we're doing a treat eat after all this time. And it looks like, is it going to be the cherries, or is she going to fake us out? No, it's the cherries. Okay, yeah, that was a very decisive cherry victory right there. Yeah. Oh yeah. She likes the cherry. All right, the winner is cherries. So congrats to everyone who thought it was cherries. And you just saw Toot put in her foraging treat in behind her. So you will, you'll get to see Pal go into town on her friend there. Trick, do you like our enrichment toy there? How, don't mean mug the camera. Turn around. There's more cherries. Oh, she was so delicate about picking up that grape. That was so cute. But yes, like even in the wild, a lot of people don't think of tortoises as omnivores because they're not obligate omnivores like humans are or raccoons or something like that. But if she found a skeleton on the forest floor that wasn't going to run away from her, she wouldn't say no. So there you go. All the grapes are gone. And Toot says Skeledile has grape fingers and a cherry rib cage. Oh, this is going to be fun. If she doesn't figure it out on camera, I will make sure we post pictures in the Discord. You can kind of see where her name comes from. A red-footed tortoise. She's very dirty. She likes stomping around in the mud and the dirt. So she looks brown. Her legs are really a bright red and her head is a really bright yellow. How you can't eat the camera. Are you done now? All right. Okay, guys, keep an eye. Oh, is she going? Well, keep an eye on Pow. If she starts being entertaining, let me know, and I'll pull her back up. So, back to the Needle Book of Shadows. We've got our moon here with our needle motif. So let's just fill up here with some stars, I think. Oh, is she going for the Aw, they are kissing. Well, she found that grape anyways. For that cherry. I think Pow has discovered that Skeledile has food. Just gonna... There you go. Now you can see him a little bit better in his lovely toes. Oh, it's so entertaining. All right, you know what? I'm gonna add some stars to this needle book. You can see me working. We're just gonna hang out with Pow. It's fun. This is I know this is the real reason y'all are here. Trick says, as Day 9 says, this is the game. It's just, this is the game. This is POW stream. We're just living in it. No, I did not mean to switch. Sorry, guys. There we go. I must have hit a button by accident. Yeah, we're just enjoying the POW time. Sorry about that. I'm really happy that we've got the POW cam back. I feel like, I don't know if stream was missing it, but it's good to have it back. It says we love POW. We do love POW. She's cute. She's interesting. She encourages you just to eat your fruits and veggies. She will find you if you do not eat your fruits and veggies. And thank you for the hydrate, dude. Oh, there she goes. How? Ma'am. Ma'am, are you done? Are you going for the tail? What's going on here? Uh, just the way she bit that toe. No, no, pal. No, no, we don't, we're not foot people in this family. No. And now we see the fierce predator standing on top of her defeated enemy. She either loves this crocodile or she just despises him. Because whenever he's in the enclosure, she has to climb all over him, knock him over, drag him around, put him in her fountain. Sorry, I'm just getting so distracted watching Pow. It's not good. I'm doing things. Guys, I'm doing things. Am I doing things? I don't know if I'm doing things anymore. I'm sorry. Furniture says I'm supposed to be teaching a lesson or something. I'm sorry. Pow's here and she's heckin' cute. Oh no, she's got it now. She's got the grapes. She's got the hang of the grapes. See, if Toot hadn't cut them for her, that would be a little bit more difficult because they'd be rolling everywhere and then she'd have to like step on it to make it stay in one place. I think now she's just mowing her lawn. Oh no, there's another grape. You got it. You got it, baby. All right, I'm just going to flip us back over and show you guys what I've been doing over here on the needle book. So I'm just going to scroll up a little bit. There we go. Okay, I don't know how well you can see it, but I just swapped out some of the colors. Um, and then I started doing the thread. So I started over here. Thread goes through this needle, around the moon again, over here, and then I'm just gonna like have it come this way and then through this needle down here. She says, "Oh, I like the thread a lot." Oh, thank you. So yeah, I think that's gonna be that. And then up here, I was gonna add some backstitch to like this star area, but I wasn't sure if I should add some thread around the stars as well, or just have the golden thread be down here. I don't know what you guys think. So I'm gonna add a couple of stars, backstitch stars. Tato, she said, I got distracted reading about redfoot tortoises. Oh, I'm so glad. They are a great species. They're a great species to keep, because they don't require as much space as, say, dude, what is the species I'm thinking of? Sulcata. Or other large species. So when she's fully grown, she'll weigh about 25 to 30 pounds and she'll be about a foot long. And she's right now in a 2 foot by 2 foot by 8 foot enclosure, which would be good enough for her for the rest of her life. Of course, bigger is better. If we had more space, we'd be giving her like a whole backyard if we could. But unfortunately, we live in Canada and that's just not possible. And Toot says we also live on the 8th floor, not much backyard to give. Yes, that's also true. Also very true. So while I'm up here in the corners, so I changed the color of the Needlebook of Shadows text to the darker brown. And then I started working on the like corner claspy bits. Patrick says, I saw a thing on TikTok about people going out to their backyards and digging up hibernating tortoises, and I couldn't tell if they were trolling, if this was a legit thing. It is legit, yes. If you don't have a backyard, you can also put your tortoises in the fridge for brumation, like in a freezer. However, because we don't intend on breeding Pow, and because she is from a climate that doesn't experience extreme temperature changes, we don't brumate her or hibernate her. It isn't worth the stress on her body. But tortoises from colder climates, like North American tortoises, like box turtles, in order to survive the winters, they will go into a state of hibernation, and they will bury themselves underground quite often. And so people who keep those tortoises try and help them out with keeping up the natural rhythms of their life, by basically helping them along with that natural process. So yes, if you ever see someone burying their turtles in the backyard, their tortoises in the backyard, or tucking them into the freezer for a few months, that is legit and it's good for them. Potato Shoe says it's weird to open a fridge and find a turtle. You've done that at a friend's house before. I can imagine that you find some weird stuff in some people's fridges. Trick says, I really like how this pattern is coming along, by the way. Oh, thank you so much. I know we got kind of like super distracted by POW. But what I've done is I erased the block lettering for the of and turned it into like this fancy. Oh, yes. And absolutely, as Toot says, if you do have a pet turtle or tortoise, don't just yeet it into a fridge, freezer, the ground without doing a ton of research first. A ton of research. And yes, I was saying I'm working on the clips up here. So, on old books, they've got like the corners that are like made of brass and that kind of thing. That's kind of the effect that I'm going for here. So I've got 2 colors of gold. And I'm just trying to create that kind of like multi-layered look. I don't know if I actually should add a third one. Like just as like an extra spot of shine. Something like that. Sorry, I keep scrolling all around. I caught Pow doing her Superman impression. Baby, are you stuck? Are you stuck on your crocodile? No, she's fine. She's fine. She totally meant to do that. So I'm going to scroll out so you guys can see. Because remember, this is going to be quite a small actual space when it's stitched up. So whenever you look at something really zoomed in, you're going to just see pixels and you're not going to be able to tell like what anything is. So it's always good to kind of like step back from the work and take it all in. and make sure that like the details aren't too close to each other. She says they like the brown corners versus the yellow. Okay, so going for like a darker brass look and more of a gold. So I wonder if I did like a... So up here, if you're using Stitch Fiddle, up here, these are all the different kind of tools that you can use. So you can draw a full stitch, half stitch, or a quarter stitch. And then there's the back stitches, and the back stitches, you can have them either snap to the full grid, half a grid, or a quarter grid. As well, they have added a new feature, which is an autosave, which is fantastic, but because before it did not autosave. So if you closed it without remembering to save your progress, you were hecked. How many times did I do that? Many. Yeah, I keep backstitching when I want a full stitch. Trick says, I also wonder if it would look cool on a tan or black Ada, which would change what color would look good on the corners. But I can imagine that's more to brain for a design. Absolutely. You do kind of have to keep in mind what sort of Ada is designed for. And actually, if you guys are familiar with Mama Witch Cross Stitch, she's been posting a lot lately about how she's been making a concerted effort to design on light colored Adas instead of black, which was kind of her comfort zone. So if you actually wanted to check that here, what I can do is the no stitch is set to white, but you can actually change the no stitch's color. So if I wanted to see what it's going to look like on black Ada, I can switch it out like that. Of course, with black, the lines are quite jarring, so I would usually go over here to chart settings, go to grid, and then hide the grid lines. Except I can't do that because I do not have paid. Never mind. But that'll give you an idea. So you can see that this design as it is right now is probably not going to work for black Ada as charted. However, if someone were to use like a tan or a linen, let's say like, let's go for like this color, that would look really good, except for now the gold is going to be a little bit lighter. If we wanted to go for like a light linen, there you go again. Although I think if I do the corners in brown and I have just the thread in gold, that would be a really good use for like golden thread. Like the etoile or the light effects. That could be really pretty. Trick says that was easier to test than I expected. Yeah, it's when I figured that out, believe me, it was a great day. And to also mention that having the corners be the darker brown looks good because nothing else is gold except for the thread, so that would make the thread stand out. So yeah, so I agree. So let's zoom back in on this top corner here. And no, I don't like that. Now, I'm trying to make it look multi-level. I don't know if I'm quite pulling that off in the way that I want. What's how to. Now she's just taking her friend into her hide. No, she's just trying to take her friend into her hide. That's all that's going on. It's fine. Just eating his insides. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm gonna move this star because it's just I just don't care for where it is. Okay. She says, I think because it is so small, trying to do the dimensions just muddies it and introduces more thread just for 4 to 5 stitches. Yeah, that's a good point as well. So let's just go with the dark coffee brown. However, since we're going to be using the gold thread, I could do a little bit of back stitch around here to bring in some of that dimension. So if I were to just do that, I like that. Again, let's zoom out a little bit. Yeah, I think that makes it a little bit more, I don't know if polished is the word I'm going for, but just more three-dimensional. Ponce. Yeah, ponce is a good word for it. And thank you for the hydrate, dude. Oh no, what happened to the Skeledile? Oh, he has been defeated. Defeated. See, yeah, there he lays. Empty of fruit. Rest in peaches, as Toot says. And Pow walks off into the distance without looking back. Okay, never mind. She's looking back now. Okay, now she's walking dramatically off into the distance. There we go. There she goes. All right, so let's take a look at our needle book so far. I think if I were to add anything else to it, I think that would just make it too busy because we are working with a very small space here. So I'm just going to change the no stitch back to white. And then I'm going to tidy up our palette a little bit. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the title. This is going to be I have early laying in front of me, so. This is the Needle Book of Shadows. And then I'm going to view the legend. So I'm going to edit the legend. And there's a lot of things you can do from this screen that I quite like. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the unused threads. Oh, which is a premium feature. Never mind. I will do that myself. So we're going to remove that color, and that color. And I apparently used one stitch of the dark old gold. So that's going to get removed. Where was that stitch? It might have been a back stitch somewhere. Okay. And then this one I'm actually going to, I'm wondering, does it have the étoile? I don't think so. Okay. So when I stitch it up, I would use like the sparkly gold thread. But I unfortunately can't set it like that right now. So what I would do is I would go to the legend, edit the legend, and then where it says DMC 676, I would put in DMC E920 or whatever it is, gold. The other thing you can do is, so right now I'm viewing it as color blocks. As we know, cross stitch patterns, instead of color blocks, they also have symbols. So you can actually, from the edit lost thread, you can choose the color, but you can also choose what symbol is used for it. So we just apply that. And then you can switch between views so that you can just view the color blocks, or you can just view the, you know what? I like having the moon as blue, but I think I might make it the gray. Just for simplicity's sake. I don't know. I can always change it back if I'd like. But I don't, unless I'm doing like some really fiddly color stuff, I don't usually like to um I don't usually like to always have the symbols showing. So you can like change them around and just add them when you're ready to export it. Um, so the other thing that I have to do, so I'm jumping all around the place. Sorry, guys. Okay, take a little drinky drink. And then what we're gonna do, so this is the front cover. We need a back cover. Now I don't always do a back cover. My most recent, this one, there is no back cover. Orchid, who test stitched this for me, decided to stitch a little frog on the back, which is super cute. It is in the pattern, which is why I didn't include a picture of it here, but it's super cute. For the needle book, I think I am actually going to do a back cover, but I think I'm going to keep it really simple. So what I'm going to do is we want it to be exactly the same size as our front cover, right? So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it over here. Okay. We want them to be side by each. So I'm going to delete this column, and then I'm just going to clear the center, but I'm going to keep the corners the same because I do want the corners to exist, if that makes sense. Because they would exist on both sides. Also, I noticed that this moon is kind of high. I think I'm going to move it down. Oops. Oh, sorry, you guys probably can't see that. I just moved the moon down a little bit. Just felt a little bit like it was crowding up into the Book of Shadows when there was empty space below it. You know what I mean? It says that they like that better. Yeah, it's more like centered in that bottom quarter, that bottom third. Okay, so what was I doing? I was clearing. There. Now, what would be on the back of a spell book? Like a needle book of shadows. Trying. Because I don't want to leave it completely blank in the middle here. A ward of some kind. Great idea. I'm just trying to think what would be like universal enough. And let's use the gold thread for that. Or even just your initials. Maybe I'll include a backstitch alphabet with this. As a way to like sign it. Ignore my horrendous backstitch right now that I'm freehanding. Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible. I will fix that. Yeah, I can just include a backstitch alphabet in the pattern. And then you can do your initials, you can do your name, something like that. In the same gold thread. And maybe do we want to do a needle to bring the motif in? Trick says my brain went to cross needles, but then I was like skinny diagonal lines made of pixels. Ooh. Yeah. I had that exact same thought earlier in this design. And then we take this. So let's pretend that this M actually looks good. How's that? Include a backstitch alphabet so you can sign it and then do the little like thread to your name. Okay, I'm really happy with that. The only thing I'm wondering is if I want to do Needlebook of Shadows in a different brown or a different color than... What the heck did I do over here? In a different color than the rest of the stuff? What? Okay, there we go. Sorry. It says they like it as is, but they're a matchy-matchy witch. I mean, the great thing about this is that you can totally make it your own. So I think if I leave it like this, then people can stitch it as is, or they have the option to make the words different colors. But I kind of like the simplicity of just having 3 colors of cloth. Using... excuse me, a sparkly gold for the thread and for the corners, a nice like silver. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I'm gonna probably make a few little adjustments, a few polishes. I might stitch up a sample myself because I do have gold thread and I'm kind of curious to see how it looks. And then that way I can figure out how many strands to suggest. Because most patterns do suggest a number of strands for backstitch. And if I do a little bit of testing myself, then I can better provide that feedback. Trick says, friggin' love this. Thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, that was really fun. I love doing these little design streams with you guys and just kind of like talking stuff out. The Moki one, so I spent about 2 hours on stream designing it. and then I spend another maybe 2 hours polishing the design. This one probably won't need as much polishing, but yeah. So the program I use, again, the program I used to do this in is Stitch Fiddle. It's a free program. From here you can you can download it as a PDF, or as a PNG. So if I were to download it as a PDF, I could then, print that or export it into Pattern Keeper, things like that. Stuff that is done in Stitch Fiddle does go fairly easily into Pattern Keeper. The only problem I've had with it is I've had to put the thread numbers in afterwards. But that's not nearly as bad as like having to basically rechart it or figure out the grids or things like that. So yeah. So if you are looking to get into design, but you don't want to lay out the money right away, or if you just want to try some stuff, or you just want to make some things for yourself, then absolutely Stitch Fiddle is a fantastic option for you. The premium version, very good. I do recommend. But the free option, just as good. Yeah. Dude says, have you considered getting an auto PK uploader like I have? I have, but unfortunately, I think there's only one of those in existence. Because Toot has this really cool program where if she wants to do a project, she kind of just speaks it into the universe, and she's like, oh, I really like this pattern from Etsy, I'd like to do it. And then, eventually fabric shows up on her desk, cut to the right size, and all the floss shows up, and then a file that's perfectly formatted for Pattern Keeper just appears in her inbox. It's really amazing. Okay, well, so this has been a Design With Me stream. I hope you enjoyed. If you are curious about our other design, the last Design With Me stream, the full stream is up on the YouTube channel. It's already expired on Twitch, so you have to go to the YouTube channel. I did also post like a shortened version of that stream as a YouTube video. It's about 25 minutes, half an hour long, and so you can watch that, and it's just, again, going over my process, and that one's using WinStitch. So right about now, Toot is putting up a ton of links for you guys to all the different ways that you can join the community. If you are not yet part of our Discord community, that is the best place to come and hang out. I mean, I may be biased, but I really think it is the best place to come and hang out. If you want to check out my other patterns, so the Needle Book of Shadows will probably be available on the Etsy store and the coffee shop shortly. In the meantime, if you want to check out my first needlebook pattern, it's this one here, which are the needles for cross stitch, the needles chosen especially for cross stitch, the cross stitch needles. And your purchase of the pattern does come with a video tutorial as well as a written tutorial on how to assemble them into a needlebook. And then it actually tells you what other materials that you need to create the book, basically. Yeah, I think that's all the shilling that I have to do. Yes, thank you for reminding me too. Coffee is cheaper than the Etsy store. As you probably are aware, Etsy charges extra fees. Coffee has their own fees, but they are lower. So if you want a deal, go to Coffee, because I raised the prices on Etsy so that it's the same amount. Yeah. Anyways, check out the Coffee as well. There are freebies on the coffee shop, and there's going to be a new freebie coming out for July. I'm very excited about. So yeah. So on that note, I would like everybody who is currently watching on YouTube to say goodbye. bye to everybody who's watching on Twitch. I'm gonna hydrate. And everyone who's watching on Twitch to say goodbye to everyone on YouTube. We're gonna say goodbye to YouTube. All right. So my friends over on YouTube, I will see you in the Discord. I'll see you on Twitch. I'll see you in the live streams. I'll see you in the comments. And as always, I'll see you in my heart. All right. Bye, YouTube. Bye. 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 All right. Now that we're back over